Listen to what Micah chapter 6 says right here. Hear now what Yahuwah is saying. Arise, strive with the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Hear, O you mountains, the controversy of Yahuwah, and you everlasting foundations of the earth. For Yahuwah has a controversy with his people, and he shall reprove Yasharal. My people, what have I done to you, and how have I wearied you? Answer me. For I brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim, and I ransomed you from the house of bondage, and I sent Moses, Aaron, and Miriam before you. My people, remember please what Balak, sovereign of Moab, counseled, and what Balaam, son of Beor, answered him from Shittim to Gilgal, in order to know the righteousness of Yahuwah. With what shall I come before Yahuwah? Bow myself before the high, mighty Most High. Shall I come before him with ascending offerings, with calves a year old? Is Yahuwah pleased with thousands of rams or 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my being? He has declared to you, O man, what is good. And what does Yahuwah require of you but to do right and to loving commitment and to walk humbly with your mighty Most High? The voice of Yahuwah cries to the city, and let sound wisdom see your name. Hear the rod and him who appointed it. Are there still treasures of wrongness in the house of the wrong, and the short measure that is an abomination? Right there should tell you everything you need to know. It should tell you that everything I've been saying in the last 30, 40, 50 videos about the real set apart place, the real dwelling place, the real city, the real Yerushalayim, not Jerusalem. I've shown so much evidence on my channels about every aspect of that place to prove, it confirms that that is the image of the beast. That's the abomination that lays waste. And the righteousness, we broke down what Balaam and Balak did. We broke that down several times. I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's regarding what I'm talking about. It all has to do with the same thing. It all has to do with you walking humbly to Jerusalem, to your home on the appointed times. That's what it means to be washed in the blood of the Lamb. If you don't come home, you never did wash yourself in the blood of the Lamb. Sorry to spoil that for you. The lamb is in Jerusalem. It's the Passover lamb. That's why they put the blood on the doorpost. And all the word tells us this. Listen, what he just said. The voice of Yahuwah cries to the city, and let sound wisdom see your name. To the city, let sound wisdom see your name of the city, Jerusalem. Hear the rod and him who appointed it. All the stuff we've seen about the rod. Up 3 years ago, I started to say that I felt like the Most High wanted me to learn the measurements of the Hakal. And that's where this journey started. Because we broke down Ezekiel how many times? I went through almost every chapter. I went through all 46 of the 45 or 46 chapters multiple times. And I never did, every time I did, I never did get around to getting like the last 3 chapters all the way. I read them and bounced around, but I never broke it down like I did the 45 or 46 chapters. But it led me here. And you have to understand that. You have to understand what Ezekiel's saying. But look at the top right here. He says, arise. Hear now what Yahuwah is saying. Arise, strive with the mountains. Let the hills hear your voice. Hear, O you mountains, the controversy of Yahuwah. He's letting you know what this controversy is about. It doesn't take, it takes a blind person at this point to read the word and not see that we're talking about Jerusalem, the city, throughout the whole book, all of the Bible. And what you need to understand is, as this eclipse coming up, this down here, I got the YouTube paused right there. That's Mr. MBB 333. I would encourage you to go watch his live stream that he's having right now. It's Friday night at 8:04 p.m. Go check out his live stream, Mr. MBB 333. And he's talking about the line of totality and this comet that's going to be visible during the line of totality, and all the towns along the line of totality, how they're named Nineveh, Jonah, Nimrod, all kinds of stuff that is related to what we've been talking about. And look, Nineveh repented and saved themselves, okay? That you can clearly see what's happening with this eclipse. The Most High's given you, he has been giving us a time of grace, of repentance, but there will come a time when that door is closed and there'll be no more compassion, he tells us, when it comes to the transgression. Whoever's transgressing, there'll be no more compassion for them. And all these signs we've been seeing, I would think that he's telling us that door is about to close. Now, if you go through all the Bible with us, and you've read what we've been reading and seen what we've been seeing, you would know that the transgression, it comes from the fake state of Israel. And that's the transgression that lays waste. It has caused the world, what is the righteousness of the Most High, what it means to walk humbly with him. And we're going to read all of 6. But what that means is that you come in and you come out. You're blessed in, coming in, and blessed going out. You come to the city as a pilgrimage. You take your inherited land. You dwell and live with the Most High. That's how you avoid the transgression. Anything deviated from that lamb, that's how you follow the lamb. From walking that out and loving your city, your inherited land above everything else, instead of pledging your allegiance to the American flag and Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, whoever it is that you pledge allegiance to. Instead of pledging allegiance to them, you love and fear the Most High. That's the gospel. And you fear him who made the heavens and the earth. And you understand that there is an imposter, that return, those people, it's built on unrighteousness, wrongness, bloodshed, and because of it, the world has forgotten to return, to go in and go out. And the door of repentance it appears to be closing soon. So the only way to repent is to open your eyes. And even the enemy will tell you with their hexagrams, that star on their flag, they use different numbered hexagrams in their I Chi witchcraft crap. And the number 23 is called the sojourner, the stranger, the wanderer. And he's lost from his home, and he don't know where his home is. And it says, even they say that, and it's common sense, but it says that the sojourner, the stranger, the wanderer, he will never find his way home unless he first realizes that the place he currently dwells is not the place of his origin. So that tells you right there that the sojourner, he don't know that. He don't know. He thinks he's in the place of his origin. But he's sick and he's lost because he's not at home. And home is where it's at. It's common sense. If you say you're a child of the Most High and you love and you want to be a part of his family, well, they have a home. And it's a geographical location. It's not a fantasy. It's an actual place. It said that he tells us all to his word. He's coming to visit the earth. When he says renewed earth and renewed heaven, that means he's making it new. Not the physical earth, but the way things are. He's bringing the truth of where you are, where each country actually sits. And you'll see that fake state of Israel that was created in the 40s, but the idea was planned long before that. That's what the whole Bible is about. All the prophets warn us about it. Read them. Start from chapter 1, take it from the top, and go through every prophet: Isaiah, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Malachi. We're in Micah, all of them. We've read Micah. The last the last video, I read 2 chapters out of Micah. Now let's read until we get to see you get to 6, where I just read from. But you just seen what 6 was talking about the controversy with the mountains. And that confirms all that other word that we've seen, like in 2nd Esdras, when he says that the mountains and the earth knows that the word concerns them, that the stone voice utters out of the stones. The stone utters their voice. The mountains cry. That's what this is all about. That's what Revelations is all about. That's what I Go To is all about. That's what all these movies and stories is all about. If you're watching and you're picking up on their symbolism that they use, they tell you, and they all the enemy, the whole everything, they're all talking about the same thing. And it's all about the imposter, the image of the beast, the abomination that lays waste, that's been set up, and that the real Jerusalem sets and no one is aware that it's it. But in the end, he tells us all through his word that, and all these movies are saying the same thing, that someone would eventually, their eyes would become open to it and they would see it, and then that would be the Most High whistling for them, and they would eventually come home, just like in the second Exodus, just like the first Exodus. But instead of one group of people coming out in one big group, we're going to be whistled. It's the Most High's whistling for us, and we're going to one by one return. And in their little hexagram thing, the 24th, the stranger sojourner was the 23rd. The 24th is the return of the kingdom. Because the sojourner realized that where he wasn't the place of his origin, his home, he turned and started to look for his true place of origin and found it. And in the 24, he returns. That's why this year is the year of the return. That's why you see all the movies talking about the same thing, just like the Mad Max saga thing I showed you the other night. I mean, the list goes on, and it's just, the evidence is mounting. You could swim through it. But everyone is refusing this, and that's the snare. This is the judgment. And look, you're about to read about it right now. I'm going to read chapter 3 here to you of Micah. Check it out. Then I said, hear now, O heads of Jacob, and you rulers of the house of Yasharal. Should you not know right ruling? You who are hating good and loving evil, tearing away the skin from my people and the flesh from their bones. Now, you wouldn't think that that's literal, right? That he's not talking about them actually tearing the skin off, but we're going to find out what he's getting at, what it means, like what it might as well be. You know, what he's talking about, it's the equivalent of doing all that to us. And who have eaten the flesh of my people and stripped off their skin and have broken their bones and have cut it up as into a pot, like the flesh in the cooking pot. Therefore, when they cry to Yahuwah, he does not answer them and hides his face from them at that time, as they have made their deeds evil. Made their deeds evil. See, this is more evidence that anyone can use that proves that every word that comes out of the Most High's mouth is necessary. The reason he said their deeds, he didn't say their way or what they were doing. He said their deeds, and made their deeds evil. That lets you know that what people are doing is evil. Not what they think. They don't think it's evil, but it's evil. Thus said Yahuwah concerning the prophets who lead my people astray. See, he's talking about his children, his people, are doing something that they are unaware that they're doing it, and it's evil. And look, however you want to chop it up, going home to Jerusalem on the appointed times, that's the righteousness. That's doing what's right. What the Most High desires. That's his desire, is for you to walk humbly. If you refuse to, it's not walking humbly, is it? You're saying, no, you're being proud. You're walking proudly. You're saying, no, I'm staying here. I don't have to do that. And all he wants is for you to come there on them appointed times. And then you could probably go back to wherever it is you want to go to. But he has if you're his child, he has a piece of land for you. You have an inheritance. So the deeds that are evil is anything other than your deed of going home, going in and going out, and walking after the Torah, following the Torah, the Lamb, wherever he leads you. Thus said Yahuwah concerning the prophets who lead my people astray, who are biting with their teeth and have called out peace. They even set apart a battle against him who does not give for their mouths. Therefore it shall be night to you without vision. There's that night again. He said, and this time it would be in the night, in the darkness of night. It's in it's the valley of the shadow of death. The land is in confusion and we're blind. The world has been blinded to where is where and who is who and what we do. The idea of Yasharal is gone from the earth. What Yasharal, what they did, who they were when David was here, what the Most High has in mind for them, what he desires is that we rule and reign in our inherited land. And we come in and we come out. Do that which is continual, round and round. And then we're blessed and we're never cut off. But when we're not doing that, we're cursed and we're cut off. We're not blessed and we're cursed. So it would be right before the Most High returns, it'll be the blackest of nights. Darkness to you without divination. The sun shall go down on the prophets, and the day shall be dark for them. And the seers shall be ashamed, and the diviners embarrassed. Then that's what's happening right now. Everyone's talking about all different subjects, but not one person's talking about the transgression of going home, and everyone's defending the image of the beast. It's the perfect trap, the perfect snare caught to catch all those people who are fronting and posing, the hypocrites, the actors. The sun shall go down on the prophets, and the day shall be dark for them. And the seers ashamed, the diviners embarrassed, and they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer, O my Most High. They have no answer for none of it. They don't know what's going on. And what's really going on is the ticket. It's what everyone should actually be talking about. And that's the truth of our home and returning, coming in, being blessed, coming in, getting through those gates. But truly I am filled with power, with the Spirit of Yahuwah, and with right ruling, and with might, to declare to Jacob his transgression, and to Yasharal his sin. Hear this, please, you heads of the house of Jacob, and you rulers of the house of Yasharal, who despise right ruling and distort all that is straight. Those building up Sion with bloodshed, and Jerusalem with unrighteousness. So do you see all that he's been talking about? He was describing everything to let you know what it is that they're doing is that they're building up Sion with bloodshed and Jerusalem with unrighteousness. Okay, this is how you can prove. This is another way I can prove to you that this is what's going on. That the world's, the believers right now, most of the people who will hear this, they believe that Jerusalem and Israel, that's the land and that's the people. Since 1948, they came in on the wings of eagles, by airplanes, all that stuff. They believe that's the place. They've went there, they've took Holy Land tours, they've bathed in the waters of the Jordan. That's what they believe. And they've been told that their whole life, so that's what they believe. And this is why they use the yin and the yang and the hexagram, because the hexagram is one mountain looking in the mirror at itself. So it's two. It's a double vision. It's mirrored. Same with the yin yang. One side's light, one side's dark. That Jerusalem over there, that's fake. So they've built up their Jerusalem, their Sion, and they're going to the extreme with it right now as we speak. They got the pedal to the metal, if you haven't noticed. And it's a deeper hole. It goes deeper and deeper. There's people who are extremists who stand and support Israel with every fiber of their being. They're going to hold on and ride that out. Who knows how deep into that hole. But every day it gets clearer and clearer to anyone who can walk humbly. It's getting clearer and clearer that place is unrighteous. And there is nothing true or correct about it. It is the city of wrongness. We just read about it. It's the house of the wrong, house of the thief. We've been reading about it. Her heads judge for a bribe, her priests teach for pay, her prophets divine for a price. Boom. This is, and like I said, all the Bible's talking this. In Revelations, it all talks about the same thing. But for example, in Revelations, when it's talking about the mark of the beast and buying and selling and the merchants and the merchandise and stuff on the sea, that's not literal. It's talking about this right here, what verse 11 is talking about. Her heads judge for a bribe, her priests teach for pay. That's the reason they can't see this truth about the image of the beast and the true place of our origin and returning and going in and going out. The reason they can't see it is because they're putting out, they're preaching, they're teaching, whatever it is they're doing. It might not seem to them that they're doing it for $1, but the dollar dictates what they do. their deeds. And the righteous deed, what would be the right thing to do? And that would be to go in and be blessed coming in, get through the gates, come find his true place, and realize that that place is not the place. And when you do that, that's not going to include, it's not going to have anything to do with making a dollar. A dollar will not dictate anything that you do when it comes to you following the Lamb. The dollar has to come out of the equation. And you understand that the Most High takes care of the birds, therefore he'll take care of you. You ain't worried about what you're how you're going to pay your bills and come to Jerusalem, whatever it is. You just come to Jerusalem because you're a child of the Most High. You open your eyes up to the truth of the image of the beast because that's what you do. All the preachers on YouTube that you'd see or Facebook, they all are plugging for noble gold and VPNs and all that kind of crap, instead of giving the truth. And the truth they avoid talking about or even looking into if it's controversial, and they if they're afraid that it will impact their reputation, which in part is dictated by the dollar. All of it's tied in, and it's not in Revelations when it's talking about merchandise. He's not talking about money straight up, just making merchandise boats out on the water. The sea is the people, and it's people making a living off the souls and lives of men, preaching for a price. Yet they lean on Yahuwah and say, is not Yahuwah in our midst? Evil does not come upon us. See, isn't that what they say? All these preachers and all these churches and people who are unwilling to come in and come out and do that which is continual. And they're unwilling to examine what it is they think the dwelling place is, to see if it's the image of the beast. And they're sitting there supporting, worshiping the image of the beast, promoting him, pledging allegiance to the image of the beast and the dragon. Yeah. That's the mark of the beast. Anyone who's out there in that has been marked. And the seal is on the rest. When the Most High seal is on your forehead, that means you are his children. You enter in to your rest. Therefore, because of you, Sion is plowed like a field, and Jerusalem becomes heaps, and the mountain of the house like a wooded height. And in the latter days it shall be that the mountain of the house of Yahuwah is established on the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow to it. And many nations shall come up and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of the Most High of Jacob. You see? The whole book, the whole Bible is saying the same thing. And the world is refusing because of the snare. That is the snare. And it's been brought about by the image of the beast that come out of the pit of the deep, that goes on to destruction. And the world right now, they're standing back. They're going to start standing back pretty soon. What are these preachers going to do when it's like you just can't hide it anymore? You can't hide the fact that they're a bunch of genocidal maniacs, and that they've done things that you can't even imagine. What are these preachers going to do in these churches? They're going to stand back for fear of her torture. They're going to say, what has happened to this great city, Babylon? Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and let him teach us his ways, and let us walk in his paths. For out of Sion comes forth the Torah and the word of Yahuwah from Yerushalayim. This is all about Sion, Yerushalayim, the whole Bible. And you are to go there. You're to love it. And the world don't even want to love it. And if they do, even think of that city where he placed his name, they think it's the image of the beast, the city of Babylon, the whore. it's everyone's committing suicide, and it's because they ain't in the word reading. If they were in the word reading and they truly were religious or whatever it is they do, if they were truly doing what they do because of the fear of the Most High and because they loved him and they wanted to be his son or daughter, if it was because of that, they would be reading the word and they would see that it's all about Jerusalem and Sion. And they would love Jerusalem. They would begin to praise it and make it a praise in the earth. And long to return and return. They would return to it. If you follow the Lamb, you will end up in the true Jerusalem, and it's here in America. And I've already shown way more evidence. We've examined right here on this channel and my backup channel, All Honor. We've examined more concrete, confirming evidence that anyone should need, more than you'll need. More than you could ask for. I got so much I could show you. And you could just go back through my videos and you'll see. That's what this is all about. And he shall judge among many peoples and reprove strong nations afar off. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Well, ain't that a coincidence that we're reading that right now? We're on account that I just showed that picture in from the Denver airport of the kids beating the sword into the plowshare. But this is how he's judging you. I've been telling you that. And he judges you by the word, and the word tells you to come to Jerusalem. Just like I said, if you follow the Lamb, you'll be in the real Jerusalem. If you don't end up there, that's because you weren't following the Lamb. You weren't trembling over his word. So you got destroyed by the word. You fled from the word. So it's all about Jerusalem and Sion. That's how he's judging you, because he knows whoever loves him, whoever trembled over his word, will be there at his house come that day. And anyone who ain't, they were slacking. They really weren't as serious as they thought they were. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither teach battle any more, but each one shall sit under his vine and under his fig tree, with no one to make them afraid. For the mouth of Yahuwah of hosts has spoken. For all the peoples walk, each one in the name of his mighty one, but we walk in the name of Yahuwah, our mighty Most High, forever and ever. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. Yes, we do. And he's winking at you when he says walk. That's letting you know that it is how you carry yourself. You are to follow the Torah and delight in it. You are to delight in his instructions from A to Z. And it's never a burden. And part of that is coming in and coming out, doing that which is continual. So that walking, that walk, when he says walk, he's not meaning that you obey his word, but you leave that part of coming in and coming out to Jerusalem. You leave that part out. No, the walk, he's talking about those who walk the walk, not just talk the talk. But we walk in the name of Yahuwah, our mighty Most High, forever and ever. In that day, declares Yahuwah, I gather the lame, and I bring together the outcasts and those whom I have afflicted. So those he's gathering, I got to repeat that again too. He's told us so many times. in his word. Those who will come home, those who he's whistling and then they're hearing his whistle and they'll come home, they're the outcast. They're the people that you don't want to listen to. They're not going to be someone who's well esteemed and revered. The truth ain't going to be coming from the people pleasers, the people, the men and women of the people, the popular ones. No, it's going to come from people you won't expect it. And that's just part of it too, because you have to be patient and be willing and desiring. You're going to have to desire to want to find out and learn the truth from the Most High. You're going to have to be patient and have to be willing to not judge people and just show up because you're hungry, not because you need it your way like Burger King. And Yahuwah shall reign over them, where? In Mount Zion, from now on and forever. And you, O tower of the flock, stronghold of the daughter of Sion, it shall come to you. The former rule shall come, the reign of the daughter of Jerusalem. See? Now, why do you cry aloud? Is there no sovereign in you? Has your counselor perished? For pain has gripped you like a woman in labor. Be in pain and deliver, O daughter of Sion, like a woman in labor. For now you are to leave the city, and you shall dwell in the field, and you shall go to Babel. You see, he's talking about back then. Back then, he's saying that when he said this, he said you're going to go off into the field to Babel. He sent the people of Jerusalem and the thought of Jerusalem into Babel. That's what that place is over there. It's Babel. There you shall be delivered. There Yahuwah shall redeem you from the hand of your enemy. See? Bingo. That's the judgment. He's calling you out of there. You have to come back to his house. He's redeeming. That's where you're redeemed. And now many nations shall be gathered against you, who are saying, let her be defiled, and let our eyes look upon Sion. See, this isn't the nation surrounding Jerusalem wanting to kill them because they're doing what they're doing in Gaza. No. That's coming against Sion is no one wanting to think about the pilgrimage back home, following the Lamb, or the true place of it. If you're looking and thinking that the image of the beast is the real place, you're against the real place. It's just common sense, right? So you can see how everyone is against the real Jerusalem. And it's a narrow path to get there, to get back home. It's hard pressed. And not everybody's going to find it. The whole world is fixated on the image of the beast, one way or the other. And it's their demise. It's the trap. But they do not know the thoughts of Yahuwah, nor do they understand his counsel, for he has gathered them like sheaves to the threshing floor. Boom, to the threshing floor. That's why in Revelations it talks about the millstone, the angel through the millstone. He says with such a great rush. This can easily be confirmed. If anytime, any place, all you got to do is read the word. If you go to Revelations and read in Revelations, and it describes the whore of Babylon, the city of Babylon, it describes her with the same descriptions it does Jerusalem. She'll be dressed in purple with pearls and all this stuff. That lets you know that there's two. This whole thing is a battle for our home, our inherited land, and we've been sold a lie about it. And it is what is going to destroy the world. The only way you're going to live is if you return. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Sion, for I make you your horn iron and your hoofs bronze, and you shall beat many peoples into pieces, and I shall seduce their gain to I shall seclude their gain to Yahuwah, and their wealth to the master of all the earth. Next time I read, I'll try to get chapter 5. Wish you was here on this fine Shabbat night with me in our true home. I've returned and I've came home. You can too. And it's everything you could imagine, plus come home.